What's up guys, Tygerz here back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about granular modulation. And what that does is we're going to create a brand new effect you guys can use for your drops, build-ups, bridges, anything like that. And this is the sound we're making right here. This sound. Super cool effect. So let's get into how I did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually delete all this right here. If it'll let me. There we go. I'll delete all that, start with a fresh slate. Right? And this is actually a project I made a while back. This is a Juice WRLD empty remix. So that's the part I want right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy all this right here, because I don't want to mess up what I already have done. So I'm going to drag this over, bring it over here, and we're just going to use this fragment of the drop. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and create a new audio track. Alright, set the record arm. If you don't have the recording set on, if yours looks like this, just click these two arrows down here in the bottom corner. You'll see it open up. Click on where it says no input and change that to master, post, master. Alright, hit record, and we're just going to record the drop. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mute my drums, because I don't want the drums to be in the recording, because if I want to use drums on top of the recording I'm about to make, I don't want the recording to play back drums in a rhythmic pattern or create transients that could overlap on top of my drums and make it sound kind of jitty. So I'm going to go ahead and mute these drums, hit record, let's record this drop. And that first bar from 93 to 94, one bar is fine. One measure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that, make a new instrument track, and we're going to use a sampler. We're just going to drag the sound into the sampler. Now one thing to keep in mind is we want to make the sampler the same volume as your master, because it's supposed to be the same volume as the rest of the song. So if you have this turned too down low, I can't even hear it. Oh, I don't know why, because I didn't write a MIDI track. So we'll go ahead and make this MIDI track velocity all the way up. So you want this to sound same volume as the rest of the song, right? So we're going to make this same volume as our master. My master is actually set to 0, so I'm going to set this close as I can at 0.1. And this other track we recorded now, we don't need that anymore, so I'll go ahead and delete that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our sampler. We're going to change this repitch option to textures, leave motion all the way down. We're going to turn the speed down anywhere past 0. It's going to sound the same no matter where you're at past 0. I just kind of like to have it on 80, just a personal preference, because I don't even know why. It's all the same. Then I'm going to leave grain exactly where it's at. So I'm going to just open up my modulation lanes here, expand that out a little bit. I'm going to play with the grain. So what grain does is it's going to affect the grains of the sound you're hearing. So it's going to affect your tones and all your transients. So let's go ahead and play with that as we're listening back to it here. Pretty cool sound we're getting there. So now we're going to modulate that. What I like to do is I like to have it kind of just ramping up like this. I'm going to turn this down a little bit there. I'm going to hold Alt and add a curve. So that's a pretty cool effect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute my drums. I'm going to go through and delete everything from the same area of the song that we're copying with this new recording. We don't need it no more, because this is a recording of all this stuff. So we can go ahead and delete all that stuff now. We're not going to need it. And now remember earlier when I said that I'm not going to record the drums, because now I can use my drums on top of this. So if I wanted to, I can still do that. What I'm going to do actually is I'm also going to add some side chains. So I'm going to put a dynamics on. And I'm going to set this to my drums. I want to kick actually. Turn the threshold down a little bit. I might even turn this down a little bit as well, just so we can get it better. So that sounds good. So back into our automation now. We can play with some more options here and more parameters, and just kind of get a feel for things we can do. So I'm going to go ahead and create another automation line. This time I'm going to play with the pitch. And what I want this pitch to do is I want this pitch to ramp up as well, and then come back down to the same to the same tone and pitch that the rest of the track is in. So I'm not gonna have it stop right away. I'm gonna have it come back down after it ramps up. So I'm gonna start right here and just pitch this up an octave. All right, close enough. Then hold Alt down, make a curve it again. Let's hear how that sounds. So that's pretty cool already. Actually, what I think I'm going to do as well is I'm going to just delete all the rest of my drums here and just have this first kick. You know, have this, because this by itself is already pretty cool sounding, so I'm going to leave that how it is. I'm going to see how it sounds in the context versus the song now. I think I might have missed something here. Oh, there we go. My drums are still muted. My drums were still soloed. Okay, let's start this over. What I can also do as well is I can even bring these elements back in as it's coming back down to the drop itself. So let's go ahead and just let's see. I'll bring in. I'll go back over to the original track here. Where is that drop section? Here it is. I'm going to copy this over to here. And we'll just bring that first section of this back in right here. But what I'll do is I'm just going to add a filter. And just kind of bring this back in. Ties us back into the drop as we're transitioning back into it. It's not just doing this crazy thing, all of a sudden the drop hits again, you know, we're kind of tying it back together here. So that is granular modulation, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to do it here in Bitwig Studio. Really easy to do, super easy to do, guys. It's amazing. It's a really cool effect. You guys can use it in all kinds of your tracks. Hope you enjoy it. Leave me a link to something if you use this in any songs. I want to definitely check it out, see what you guys can do with this. You know, and play around with these other sections here, these different parameters. Like if we used motion's going to create like a stuttering effect. So there's different things you can do. Definitely play with it. Check out the cycles parameter here. Repitch is kind of just for, you know, speed and pitching. But textures is where you get all your granular modulation from, because you need this grain parameter for granular modulation. So, catch you next video, guys. Thanks for watching.